Good afternoon, and welcome to a More Than Meets the Eye Blindformers crossover video. We're doing a second one. And also, I wanted to let you know, I got my Transformers order in. So I got 5 Transformers to talk about, though it's really just going to be 4, because we're going to talk about one today, just a retool of an older figure. But I wanted to mention to you, I was supposed to get 6. There was supposed to be a Megatronus on the stage with everybody else today. It was going to be a big old look at a happy family of Transformers kind of thing. And I got an email from Amazon saying that Megatronus wouldn't be happening for me and would I like to be put on a waiting list. And I just love that they ask you that. You're like, yeah, I would like to be put on a. Just do it automatically. What's wrong with you? Why do you got to ask me if I want to be put on a waiting list for this thing? If I don't want the item, I'll cancel it in my orders section. But it just holds the process up. So I, of course, they changed how the website worked, so I couldn't figure out where the yes or the no icons were. So I had to wait for my sighted assistant to come over. And we went over the email together. He said, oh, the yes button's automatically pressed. So I hit yes, got an error code, had to contact Amazon Prime customer support for a third time in 7 days. Knocking stuff over here at Blind Prime. For a third time in 7 days. It was ridiculous. Oh, I have had the worst luck getting these guys all together. And it's not it's not normal. That's for sure. This has not happened to me before. Not having 2 separate orders canceled, because last week Silverbolt got canceled. And this week, Megatronus got canceled. And I'm like, okay, well, the good thing I don't have a Transformer coming in next week. This is it for a little while until the other aerial bot shows up. I don't know why he's so late whenever I ordered them both together at the same time on the same day. It's just, it weirds me out. I was literally there at 2 p.m. on Amazon.com pre-ordering all these things when they came out back in December when they were announced. And I don't know what to say. It's just that Amazon needs to gather up all its stuff, and it needs to put it in a bag. It needs to get it together. Yeah, just pack up all your stuff and get it together, Amazon. Dropping orders left and right. Good grief. And like I pay monthly for the service to have my order drop. Rumble, rumble, grumble, grumble. Let's get into today's video. I just want to let you know that Megatronus will be arriving sometime in the future. With Silverbolt, sometime in the future. Those are just going to be TBAs now. So first off, let's clean up my stage a bit. We got Prima here, which just a fun little Transformer. Can't wait to talk about Bone Crusher. Pleasantly surprised by Bone Crusher. Scrapper was a letdown in my opinion, but Bone Crusher brought it back, and I'm just excited to talk to you about Bone Crusher. Solus Prime, surprisingly a complex transformation. We'll talk about Solus Prime's weapon, which is a giant hammer, and we got the aerial bot Air Raid here. We could say Air Raid down over here. There you go, Air Raid. His transformation's a little simple, but you know what? I enjoyed it. And who else is left? Is it just you? Yeah, it's just you. And of course, we've got Nemesis Prime from Siege to do a little comparison, because why not? And I don't know why I didn't think about this before. Oh, let's grab him. Where you at? Where you at, buddy? I know I put you over here. Where are those rabbit ears? Let me feel those rabbit ears. Give me your rabbit ears. Give me your rabbit ears. Where are them ears? No, that's Galvatron. Where are they? Aha! I found your ears. Come here, you. Might as well bring out Cyclonis from Kingdom, because Metal Hawke here is a retool of Kingdom Cyclonis, and Cyclonis is, of course, a fan of bunny rabbits because he's got them rabbit ears. All right. There you go, Cyclonis. Love looking for the rabbit ears. Every time I feel it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know this one. That's Cyclonis, without a doubt. So Cyclonis here had some really interesting stuff going on, and I gave him some really fun extra weapons, because, why not give Cyclonis big old explosive devices, big old cannons. Um, so let's compare Cyclonis and Metal Hawke here. Cyclonis, can you lower your arms down on either side, please? Just like that. Thank you. Wow, your joints are so stiff still. Metal Hawke, why'd you do that? All right, so here's Metal Hawke and here's Cyclonis. Now, comparing the two together, they both have the same feet. They both have different legs. Cyclonis's leg has a big oval in its kneecap, and Metal Hawke's comes to a point. And Metal Hawke's also has some etchings done into it, some new sculpt work at the legs. Ooh, neat. Turn them around, and Metal Hawke here, not Metal Hawke. I was like, Metal Hawke, don't fall, don't fall. All right, sorry, they got a big wingspan each of them, so it's a little difficult. Cyclonis has a flat back on him when it comes to his legs, and Metal Hawke has these two little winglets sticking out. And I do wish there was a joint added to that little winglet sticking out so that you could just fold it against the back. A part that I really wish they would put a joint on. I don't like how rigid that is. I feel as though it would break one day. And I do wish that that was just a joint and you could just move it sideways. Just one more transformation step. It would have been okay. It would have been all right. Okay. Next up on the comparing of the two, let's move up over here. So first off, before we get into too much further, size-wise, we're going to compare them back to back because that's the easiest way to get these two together. And Cyclonis and him are the same height. They are the same height. They did not change the height whenever they mixed around some of these parts. So arms. Metal Hawke's arm has a very wobbly fist that likes to fold in on itself, but a decently tough elbow, and it's got a decent run of joint to it. And of course we have this fun little, let's get this thing off your side there. All right. We have this really fun kind of Ronin style armor folded over his shoulder. It's a neat armor. It comes to a peak and then it kind of rolls down the side of his shoulder. It's a really good pauldron. And he's got one on each side and they're exactly the same. He isn't asymmetrical. He's actually pretty orderly. Now, comparing the arm for Cyclonis here. Cyclonis. What's going on with this arm? Oh, right. You're backwards. Blind people problems. All right, let's get this. Let's get Cliffjumper's gun off your arm and take a look at this. So, Cyclonis's arm is just a straight up. It is kind of a rolled down shoulder, similar to how they did him for Metal Hawke. Very similar. Those shoulders are very close to one another, but Metal Hawke feels like it comes. Let's see. Nope. And yeah, Metal Hawke feels a bit thinner at the top. Like it comes to a bit of a more point than Cyclonis is here. Just a bit, but no. Now that I'm really feeling it, there's nothing really different between the shoulders. The shoulders are the same for both of them. That really cool little armor that folds down the side. So that's nice. Now we move over here to the lower arms, and we do get a difference. With Metal Hawke, we have this really neat kind of split pattern going on the side. It's a spot where you would expect there to be a siege port, but there is none. And that's kind of, yeah, and then there's a big hole on the one side. And up and down on top and below, there's a little bit of etching, but there's not much detail in there. But I do appreciate that they put a little. So that is Metal Hawke. Metal Hawke. Why did you do that? Stop falling, man. What's wrong with you? It's those things on your back. They just don't. There we go. All right. Now Cyclonis here. Come over here to his lower arm. His lower arm is a bit sleeker. It's smoother. It's also completely solid. That is a big difference between Cyclonis. I'm sorry, I was talking Cyclonis just now. That's the big difference I've seen from Cyclonis to Metal Hawke. Is in Cyclonis's case, they added the little extra bits of plastic to cover up huge gaps. So where Cyclonis's arm's a bit rounder, it comes up to this little point on each end. One of them has a siege port. Let's take a look at you. Do you have a siege port, sir? We just looked at all that and determined there wasn't one, but we'll double check, making sure. No siege board. Though I do appreciate that your kind of arm thing comes to a point, you can fold the hand up to give him like a weapon or something. But that fist always wants to fold up because it was actually a fist designed to lock in. And we're about to get to that just as soon as you stop falling over. How is it that you keep doing that? What's wrong with you? Is it because of the way the plastic works back there? Oh, we're just going to split your legs just a bit. There. There. It looks a little goofy, but it stops him from falling over. So there we go. All right. Coming over here to Cyclonis, and we've got a... Good grief. I had to mix myself up. All right. Here's the hand. Cyclonis, let's get your hand open. So Cyclonis' hand doesn't wiggle, and it's pretty solid in there. Getting this stupid thing open is always a pain. So I don't want to break my thumbnails anymore. There it goes. Okay. So where Metal Hawke's hand just folds into the forearm, they did something different here with Cyclonis. It was a part of the transformation I really appreciated, where you pull the hand apart. The larger forearm has no connections in it for the hand. It rests on top of the hand. The joint for the hand is actually in the smaller piece that pulls away. And that's where you can rotate the hand to give him a cannon arm. Yeah, he can just straight up go Power Man. Boo, boo, boo. All right, so that's cool. Now, we're going to come over here to Metal Hawke. And what happens when we fold your hand in? Like, we just explained. Like, look at that. That is a huge gap there. And it's a shame that that gap exists when it didn't exist for Cyclonis. Now, the hand folds up, and we get this really nice vent pattern on the other side because of the way that this hand will end up for transformation. So let's go ahead and unfold the hand again. And that's another thing that's different between the two, is those hands. Now, we know the heads are different. Cyclonis here, not Cyclonis, Metal Hawke here feels more like he's got elf ears or really cool cat ears. But Cyclonis, he got them rabbit ears. Yeah, he got the rabbit ears. The difference in their helmets, there's a nice little line etched across, like this like cool little area on top of his helmet, right above his brow. It's really neat, and it definitely changes up the feel of the helmet in a very positive way. I also like his nose, how it's kind of a longer nose, and it's a decent face in there. Yeah, all right. And over here to Cyclonis. Cyclonis' nose is a little less pronounced, and his face is, it's all right. You can't really get in there much to tell. Anyway, nuts. So that's those two faces, and now lower your sword. Let's take a look at their fronts. There is difference in the front plate, but we knew that would happen. With Cyclonis, who keeps turning around, we get a very solid plate. It's a big breastplate, and then down here we've got his really cool abdomen area with all those nice little textures and those deep intakes for air, and then this really fun ab he's got that is really cool textures. He's got a really cool chest. Now we come over here to Metal Hawke. His chest is broader. It's a bit more round, rotund, if you will, and he doesn't have quite the same details. This isn't the same smooth, sleek stuff from the 80s. It feels like this guy's actually got kind of an armored up chest. I like the vents going on around his breast area. We got this little area there that's all smooth. There is a lot going on Metal Hawke's chest. It is a really, really nice feeling chest. He's got a good one, okay? It is a bit wider than Cyclonis's, though. That's where we keep having so many problems of him falling over. Cyclonis' chest is definitely a bit thinner than Metal Hawke's. And also Cyclonis' chest feels like it's got a bit more plastic in it than Metal Hawke's, which is weird. I know, but Metal Hawke's feels a bit lighter. And that is, this guy is a heavy retool of Cyclonis. Now, one of the more interesting differences between the two is his wings. Like, I like the fact that Metal Hawke has these big old wings that come off on either side, reminiscent of G1 Seekers. we come over here to Cyclonis, and Cyclonis just has these tiny little winglets that actually fold backwards towards his back and give him kind of back spikes or something. Like you could fold them out on the sides too to be kind of side spikes, but they're this weird L shape or like a check mark shape on each side, and it's definitely odd, but it throws off some major fun sci-fi vibes, and that's kind of what we got from the '86 movie. Is those weird, crazy designs that were just awesome. Now, let's talk about his transformation. Let's get into the Blindformers section of this video, because I think out of the two, they each have their bonuses and they each have their negatives. But Cyclonis' definite bonus is there's far less gappage than the other guy. And also, what's up with your legs, man? Why is one of your legs lower than the other one? Keep that joint down. Oh my god. That is a difficulty with the Cyclonis mold, is sometimes the fold up joint for the legs likes to that's why you've been falling over. One of your legs is shorter than the other one, and then that one needs to be pulled out too. There we go. Oh dear lord. Hey, now this one's pulled out far more than the oh man. Metal Hawke. Metal Hawke, you've got some problems, man. You just need to fold those legs back. Fold that back up just a bit, okay? There you go. Are your legs equal? Yeah, they're equal now. All right. That explains some of the issues we were having. But let's go ahead and take off his sword. All right. Let's get your sword out of your hands, sir. There we go. Yeah, really was in there. This sword, I swear to you, I've seen this sword other places, and if these little nub Cream, what's up? Huh? What's up? You just wanted some scratches? Do you want me to poke you with the sword? Huh? Oh, you want me to scratch your back with the sword? Oh, do you like it when I scratch your back with the sword? Huh? Yeah? Yeah? Look at your rolls just rolling. Alright. Move. You're directly in front of the camera. Great. There you go. There you go. Alright. This sword is from another set. I want to say Laser Prime. I also want to say Swoop. I'm going to have to look into my other swords and tell you on a little YouTube short where that sword belongs. So let's go ahead and take off. Where's your other gun? Oh, here it is. Let's get this other gun off him. He came with two guns, by the way, which is neat because the only accessory that Cyclonis came with was his really stupid-looking gun. These two guns combine together in a neat way that we've seen before in other weapons, and it's very cool that we get this with him. You get this little, you combine the guns together, and it would be really fun if there was a way to also combine the guns to the sword. Like, you combine the guns together, and then you could attach the sword. Cat hair. He put a cat hair on my face. Good grief, Cream. There would be a cool way to put... Yep. All right, there. A cool way to put the sword connected to these two guns, because the guns feel like they combine together and create a little drone. It's got two wings and two upper wings, and it's got two bolts there, but it just needs a nose. So if this could combine into a nose for the little gun, I could see his weapons just flying around him. Pew! And isn't that neat? I think I got the cat hair. That's good. Oh, good. Cream. Florida weather makes your cat shed like crazy, especially in the springtime when it's 30 degrees one day and 110 the next. All right, let's get into transformation proper, right? All right, first you want to do is fold up his hands. That is one of the easier steps to do. Next step is, and I advise waiting till the end to handle the feet, because they're kind of important for the upper transformation piece, and it locks in really well. But keeping them down here, not transforming the feet, means the rest of your transformation will be a little easier up here at the top for clearance reasons. So first you want to do is pull the chest piece off, okay? Next step you want to do is you want to grab each of his arms up here. You want to grab them right towards the shoulder, not at the wing bit that's on the back. You don't want to break your wings. You just want to grab the shoulders, pull each of these guys back away from the chest area, and pull them very far back, okay? They're actually on a double hinge, So they can go further back than you think. And you want to get them to floppy point where they're just kind of flopping around, and you can bend them both together and connect those wingtip to wingtip. You want that kind of mobility with these things. But for some reason, one is more mobile than the other. Isn't that neat? I don't know why that is. Let's see. Did I screw something with you? Or are you just a little stiffer of a joint? I think this is just a little stiffer of a joint. We'll figure it out during transformation if I did something wrong. Oh, wait, what happened here? You went up further? You can go up further? Oh, that's neat. Can you go up further? Go up further, my friend. Do it. Do it. Can you? Can he do it? Can he do it? Cream, I know you're interested in my transformation. Cream is really interested in Metal Hawke. Metal Hawke must be one of his favorites. But yeah, what in the world just happened here? What is going on over here on this side? Did I break that? Did that just straight up break on me? Or is that a part of the transformation? I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. Let's see. Move that piece up there. Let's see what happened over here. The entire side. Do you do that? Yeah, but you're not as pulled away. Can you do that? Huh? Can you pull away that far? It gets locked when it pulls away. Ah! They both kind of lock. Neat. Okay, I've only practiced this transformation a couple of times, so I'm learning new things today too. Like how these guys can tangle themselves together is wow. Okay, that was a surprise. Talk about an arm lock. All right, so let's see if we can put it back. All right, there we go. Okay, so you're going to go back over here, and just. All right, cool. All right, I didn't break anything. I hope. I hope I didn't break anything. I really do. Let's see. Did I break you? Or is that just how that joint works? We're gonna slide you back together, sir. Second round of cat hair. Thank you, Cream. Oh, neat. Okay. All right. But can we put it back? That's the question we're asking right now, Mr. Transform. Because that was weird, and I don't like it. I don't like that you did that. Ah, cool. We can put it back. It's just 3 joints in there. There's 3 joints in there. I heard all 3 pops. So that means you can pop 3 times, sir. Pop 3 times. Pop 3 times for me. There it goes. It popped 3 times. Yes, we did it. Okay. Sorry, that was new to me. I'm still kind of learning this transformation, but you can pop them 3 times up, and now they are super floppy. Wow, you are both floppy. They can just kind of hang out now. All right, let's come over here to the chest area. Now that we've pulled the hands back, you then want to rotate the entire assembly that the hands are attached to 180 degrees. So it'll go from being up here, oh, you turn it 180 degrees, and now you have this fun little window vent thing that will be pointed towards the head. And these arms will be back here near the feet. Next step, you want to then pull the piece that the arms and this assembly that we just twisted is attached to. You want to pull it away from the chest. Now that you pulled it away from the chest, his head is going to go backwards. He's just going to kind of dive backwards into his body, and this thing is going to come out. Now, when it comes to Cyclonis, this was a fun part of the transformation because this little thing came out, and then we had to unfold a little piece to unfold the center bit. Okay, and this time we just unfold the center bit. There's no other unfolding of pieces, and that does leave a horrendous gap right here, and that is a shame that such a gap exists. And I do hope there's a pack. Maybe I can get some gap fillers or something. But after you've unfolded the nose cone of the jet, or whatever this guy is, you want to fold down that back panel, and it's going to line up with all of the edges of this. And that means that back panel is also a brand new piece. It's a retooled piece because it's got to match up with this new retooled piece. And They did a lot of retooling for Metal Hawke. I appreciate it. They didn't have to do this much, but it's nice. Now you can go ahead and fold the chest piece back up. Yay! Okay, next step is we're going to do something neat and interesting. But before we do, it's time we work on the legs. So come down here to the legs, and we're going to take and unfold the legs from each side. Okay, come on. This part is a little difficult to get it going because sometimes that back panel doesn't want to pop up. But that back panel will pop up, though this little wing that's sticking out of the back of his leg won't pop up with the panel. The wing represents the very edge of that panel. So the panel will pop up, that little wing will stay the same. Inside the panel, you're going to find where there was like a siege port that you unfolded for Cyclonis. You're going to unfold this big old engine thing, and it's got two little siege pegs on it. The little ones that allow you to put blast effects in, that are explosion effects. Then you fold the foot upwards into that gap, just like with Cyclonis, and then you fold this thing back down. That is actually very similar to Cyclonis transformation. Nothing's really changed there. There's very little that's changed with Cyclonis transformation, but we're about to get to the biggest change. So first off, you want to, and I think it's easier if you do it this way. So first, unfold that all the way. We didn't take care of this one. I got caught up in handling other things. So pull the back of the leg apart, pull out the little engine component, push the foot into the gap, fold the leg component back down, and plug the engine component in. Then pull the foot out as much as you can. Pull the foot out as much as you can. There it goes. Okay, now we're going to attach the feet together, the legs together, to create his unique, never before seen lower ejection mode. Yeah, he needs to escape a situation. He just okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and throw this together by squeezing his legs into his legs. Okay, this is actually really one of the more interesting parts of the Cyclonis transformation is combine the legs together. There's hollowness inside, and you just got to push on the lower legs and push on the upper body, and the thighs will go into his legs mostly. Not all the way, but a lot of the way. Come on. And it will take a bit of squeezing. This is definitely a squeeze point in the transformation. But when you squeeze it together, the top of the legs that will have the little wings attached to them will line up properly with that little bit that the arms were attached to that we rotated 180 degrees, which lines up properly with this little bit that unfolded from the back, from his back to allow his head to fold in, which lines up properly with the nose of the plane. And I like how all this comes together. I really liked Cyclonis' transformation. He was the best figure of the year that year, in my opinion, because it was just such a good transformation. And sometimes it's the smaller figures that will be the best of the year. You know, you think maybe it's the Titan class, maybe it's the one you spent hundreds of dollars on. Now, only to discover is that it's the $23.99 Gears that was the best figure of the year, or you know, the $30 or $31 Cyclonis. Now that we've gotten all those pieces folded up with the legs, now it's time to take the arms. And these arms are going to do some neat things, okay? First off, take this little winglet on his back of his arm, and it's going to fold up. So it's going to fold on one hinge, and then we're going to pull it completely out and lower it down, making sure that the lower arm is rotated properly. And it's actually going to come down and lock in place. And the edge of the wing is going to fit in that little gap. Remember when I said his arm had a weird little gap spot on the end of it? That's where the edge of the wing will fit in. Okay, and I like how that works. That is really well tooled. So see the little V he's got? Because, you know, he's part of Transformers Victory. So, of course, he's got V's on his arms. He is going to go over here, pull this part down. There it is. Move this wing around, and then the wing is going to fit right into that V gap. It's so, and it fits so nicely, and it's so tight. I love that part. Okay, next step is we are going to finish this guy up by spinning this around, rotating this up and down, and then we're going to clip that into the side. Come on, clip into the side. This part is a little bit of a troublesome thing because you got to make sure you've pushed those hinges in all the way on the side. Since we played with them, they were out all over the place. We got to Got to bring them back in and rotate that arm around, and then it's going to actually combine to the front of the jet. So we just got to, there's a little edge on this little bit that sticks out from the hand, and that little edge is going to fit into a very specific little slot. We got to find that slot. Once we find it, make sure that we got it all combined. There it is. There's that little thing. And that's a grippy one. So you just gotta plug it in and it grips down nice and tight. Nice and tight. Next step, we're gonna follow it with this one on this side. Find the little spot. It's a little rounded, it sticks out an extra, and then you find the grippy that it attaches to, and you line them up, and there you have it. Perfectly combined. Yeah. Now squeeze them together, making sure that everything has connected. There's nothing that isn't disconnected. Right there and there. There's some stuff that should be smoother, but I think that's good. That's good enough. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Now finally, you take his guns that I described as being a little drone, and you're going to split them apart. Come on, come on. They don't like to come apart. There it goes. Okay. Pardon me. Next, we're going to take them, and you can plug them in on either side. Now, back here at the bottom, we've got these little ridges, and this is where Cyclonis's arm used to plug in. But since Metal Hawke's arms plug in at the front instead of at the rear, this spot was open. So what did they do? They made these guns. And these guns fit into the spots where Cyclonis's arms used to fit. And when they do that, there it goes. Yeah. All right. When they do that, it comes out to be a really nice finishing touch. Though it gives this plane a little, a few too many vertical wings. There shouldn't be 4 vertical wings in the back of the plane, I think. But the tiny horizontal wings on the sides do give it a nice touch. And then finally, the sword has these 2 little teeth on one end, very reminiscent of laser primes. Now that I'm really thinking about it, and then if you feel around here on his back, you get these 2 little points, and we can plug in the sword. Of course, we can plug it in the other way. Spin that sword around and plug in the sword like that, and then the notch at the end of the sword kind of sticks out a bit from his rear, and the front ends together, and there you have it. He doesn't have the landing gear that Cyclonis had, sadly. Cyclonis had some nice landing gear. There was some pieces in his knees, and it was really well done, in my opinion. But that is Metal Hawke. And now, Metal Hawke's vehicle mode is drastically different than Cyclonis's. Cyclonis's is a very sleek, sci-fi backwing jet, so it gives a W shape. And this guy is a V jet. He's got the normal wing style, though it's more sleeked back because he's supposed to match up with Victory Saber. And I'll go ahead and grab a Starsaber at least and give you a comparison with Starsaber. Oh, come here, Starsaber. You're coming down from your roost. What you do is just grab you up without breaking anything. That is always a challenge. All right. Here he is, Starsaber, who's also from Transformers Victory. So we got Starsaber here, and we have Metal Hawke. And I think that comparing the 2 together, you get a decent look at them. I think that these 2 would be flying around space together. They have some similar aspects, and though Starsaber is carrying kind of a helmet on his back, they both are close enough together, in my opinion, that it would work. It would work. They're both very odd flying vehicles, and I think that this is a wonderful addition to the Transformers Victory line. I like the vehicle mode. I like the robot mode. I love I adore the transformation. The only negative with the vehicle mode here is there's a lot of underside that is robotic, but it does work for a Cybertronian vehicle, and there's not anything port wise that you can plug in. It really is a shame that it's really difficult to get this guy on a flight stand. I do have to say they took away so many siege ports that there's these pegs for the guns on the sides, but you don't want to put the weight of the figure on that. There is the port in the center that the sword covers up when you got the sword in it. That's the only one really. There's no other real ports on him to pose him, and that is a shame that we didn't have anything like right here, this chest. Even if they just given us a tiny little porthole there, that would have worked out. But that was the same problem I had for Cyclonis. I really wanted to pose him in flight mode more often, and it's just difficult finding a place to put it. For Cyclonis, I always have to put his flight stand port directly on top of him, so he's just kind of hanging down from a flight stand. And that is a shame, in my opinion. I like that Victory Saber doesn't have that problem because he's got a specially designed flight stand for him. But anyway, so final grade on them. I think that Metal Hawke's robot mode deserves an A plus ranking. It's not S quality, not like Cyclonis' S quality. I do say that there's a down step there, but not far. And it's a complete, there's so much of it that's retooled that you can almost declare it another Transformer, except that the steps are almost exactly the same. Transformation mode, that's S quality. Okay, and that is still a fun transformation. It does some neat things. You get a fun shape out of it when you're done. This is a I liked how they use different joints and hinges to spread things out or squeeze things together. I enjoy Metal Hawk's transformation just as much as I enjoyed Cyclonis' transformation. And then when it comes to vehicle mode, Metal Hawk's got some problems in the vehicle mode department, but not many. So once again, it's an A plus ranking for vehicle mode because I really wish they had done something with this gap. I do. Then we could have had some landing gear there and some landing gear somewhere else. Like they didn't give us landing gear, and if they did, I don't know where it could be. And if there is landing gear, let me know because I would love to know about it. Unless these little nubbins on the backs of his legs are supposed to be the landing gears. But there's not really anything for the front because it was folded up in the nose area, and they changed that. So this big old gappy nose is definitely a negative in my opinion, and no landing gear is a negative. It's hard to find any place for him to actually, no stand can really hold him well, and that's a negative as well. But there's so much detail in this vehicle mode. There's so much sculpted in detail. It is a wonderful thing to behold. It is a treat for the fingertips, that's for sure. And that's why it gets an A plus, in my opinion. It's A plus robot, A plus vehicle, S rank transformation, and the best part is you can find this on sale for like $20. All right, I paid $21 for this guy. After shipping, well, no, there was no shipping. After taxes, it came up to be like 25. But really, really good. I highly recommend that you pick yourself up a Metal Hawke as soon as you can before those prices go outrageous. I'm pretty sure they're going to end up in the those big stores like